Can we just take a moment to actually appreciate just how absolutely insane Will as a character is, and through 3 episodes, the different types of fighting styles and just how cool he is? The character design doesn't give you the impression he's gonna go crazy, but then he takes his shirt off and he's got that sleeper build and he just does the craziest shit. That item that he gets from his pal, that's basically just like a giant ass grappling hook that you can attach bombs to crush a giant ice foe, was metal as hell, but they baited me so freaking hard. So throughout the episode, I know this comes from the author of Don Machi. I know how the author of Don Machi likes to build harems, right? And I'm not saying that I expect Will to go for anyone other than Elfie over here, because seemingly they literally have a connection, top to bottom, in the past, in the present. It's cemented. I mean, unless they want to get into that polyamorous relationship, I mean, we already know which pairing's gonna win. But there've already been hints of other girls liking our boy, and then they introduce this glasses girl, and honestly, I didn't get any red flags. In the back of my mind, I almost wanted to be like, well, maybe, no, like, there's red flags. She was just a really nice girl. And then they end the episode really quickly, like around the 18-minute mark is when the ending plays, and her voice changes, and I was like, that rat bitch. I knew, you know what, I should trust my gut in the back of my mind, but it's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. And then we watch after the credits, and we meet all of the head honchos up in the tower. And I'm thinking she's gonna speak ill on her name, and then she recommends Will for the tower, and I'm like, I take it all back. It was a whiplash in the final few minutes of this episode, and the fact that it turns out that she learned everything about Will from Elfie, who then literally, oh my god, like, there's so much happening. And this show just seemingly is so well written. I have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full length of thought to any of these episodes, can be over there exclusively. Honestly, between episode 2 and 3, I think those are currently the best. I mean, we've only had 3 episodes total, but episode 1 was like a banger from the get-go. And then what they did with the whole teacher matchup last week was so freaking cool. But this episode almost flexed like more the whimsical, the technological side of this world a bit more. And I think this really caught my interest a lot more, because to see the gear, like, that's really, like, that has me excited. It's entirely possible the only gear we'll see is maybe a grappling hook and a sword from now on. And if so, that's more than enough to keep fights engaging. Because as we can see, he can literally wrap shit around fools, compress them, and even with the natural compression of what he was doing, it was stunning and actually hurting this creature. Add in a couple extra bombs and whistles like that, and you can take out a lot of things. But add in the sword play as well, you got a recipe for success. This man's basically walking maneuver gear right now. It's fantastic. But the idea that we do have a pal that can basically make really cool inventions leads me to believe that depending on what we're going hunting for, or maybe what the mission is, we might have different gear attached. So it's like the sword will be his main weapon, and his extra gear that he can attach to his glove will be for whatever situation he's going for. That adds a whole new opportunity of what we can do with this show, past what I thought the show was going to be. Like, even if you don't like Don Machi has really good fights. Like, it's true. Like, the way characters run around and do so many crazy things. Like, especially in the most recent Don Machi season with the collective teamwork that they did, really flexed the action creativity. And I can just feel, like, the passion in that same level here, but it's done so in such a new and fresh way that it's like, okay, like, there's something about this author that I think the way they write action just personally clicks with me. And honestly, like, I didn't hate Will in episode 1, but I had a lot more, like, skepticism about his character in episode 1. And then episode 2 and 3 just makes me like, this kid's him. Like, he's 100% him. And what they seemingly are building up to, so there's a handful of people on top of the tower, as we can see. One is pretty much saying, I'll take anyone who can be a benefit. One's saying, I don't want any weaklings around me. I'm surrounded by plenty already. And I think the other was kind of more in a middle ground. And Elfie didn't really say a whole lot of anything. So it seems like with whatever competition thing's coming up, if he impresses there, in theory, he could already start climbing the tower. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because I thought that would be a much longer term goal, like something that let's just say this anime got 50 episodes worth of stuff. Like, that to me is like episode 30 onwards. But with the way they're talking, like, we could already be doing that by episode 12. I have no idea, of course, and I don't want to know, but it's interesting how that plot point's actually speeding past a lot quicker than I initially thought, but not in the way that it feels rushed or like we're cutting content, but just the story isn't going as predictable as maybe I thought it would. And it's very often you'll find shows like these where, you have that childhood friend dynamic of like, hey, we're going to do this together, and then one friend forgets about it or surpasses the other friend, and it's like, that was just for promises. That's not what's happening here. These two, despite having such separation and different level of status, completely believe and trust and love in the other the same way they did when they were first separated. And you don't actually see that too often. Like, with her like sitting on the side the way she was on that chair, it actually gave me the impression that she was a little more salty, maybe a little more high-strung than she used to be. And then when everyone else was gone, she's back to what we saw in the flashback with Will. So very clearly, she's still the same person, and apparently, you're lucky if you can even make one new spell in this world, you go down in history. This girl has made 12 so far. So, despite our boy not being able to use magic, we're still seeing continuously that this boy be surpassing magic. And it's interesting because, like, his mindset is pretty much like, magic is very impressive, and of course, but there's more than just, simply be able to do a crazy spell. Like, you gotta have a deep understanding of what you're fighting, or, tactics and preparation. And I'm just interested because this is the type of character that if he wanted to shatter expectations and bring down a system, I honestly believe he could. But he seems like a genuinely respectable MC that I want to learn more of. I am a little skeptical of the seal in the sky. I don't know if they're going to go a full-on Attack on Titan route where the walls aren't just there to keep you safe, but it's to keep you from knowing the truth on the outside. Because they don't even know what their sky looks like. And I feel like it's probably true if that comes down, there will be bad things happening. But I almost feel like they are trying to keep everyone oblivious to the truth of their world, and I don't know why. It just gives me bad vibes, like someone's keeping secrets, and I don't know who fully knows the truth of anything. But time will tell. But my mind was blown watching this episode. Just the fact that 3 episodes in a row we have just 3 different unique styles for Will's fighting, and the introduction of gear, and the fact that it doesn't just have to be that gear, just leads to so many new creative possibilities. But that girl baited me hard. I went from thinking she was fine to a bitch to back to A-okay, so brilliant job character writing wise. Now, of course, those are my feelings. Let me know what you thought of this episode, especially, like, what did you think of Glasses Girl? Because, like, even if you had skepticism, like, you probably got baited when she actually was revealed to be nice, because that voice change really played with me. But let me know what you're feeling down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Leaf Solmond, Chitin Lord, Amanda Laboud, and we also have Bill. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.